The call came on a Tuesday afternoon while I was grocery shopping, debating between two brands of pasta sauce. Ms. Katherine Reeves? This is James from Fairfield Mortgage. I'm calling about your payment on the Maple Street property. I shifted my phone, tossing the cheaper sauce into my cart. I think you have the wrong person. My mortgage is with First National, not Fairfield. For your Elm Avenue property, yes. I'm calling about 447 Maple Street. Your payment is 60 days overdue. The cart stopped rolling. I don't own a property on Maple Street. Ma'am, I'm showing a mortgage initiated 18 months ago. Katherine Reeves, Social Security ending in 7749. My blood turned cold. That's my social. But I never bought a house on Maple Street. Ms. Reeves, if you're disputing this mortgage, I need to transfer you to our fraud department immediately. Maple Street. The name tugged at something in my memory as I abandoned my cart and rushed to my car. While on hold with the fraud department, it hit me. For 47, Maple Street was my childhood home. The house we'd fled from in the middle of the night when I was 12, my parents packing everything into a rental van while my twin sister Emma slept in the back seat. The house we'd left 3 states behind when Dad's gambling debts caught up with him. The house where Emma had died in a fire 2 years later, when she'd snuck back to retrieve a forgotten music box. Or so I'd been told. Ms. Reeves. A new voice. I'm Deborah from Fraud Prevention. Can you verify you did not purchase 447 Maple Street in March of last year? I haven't even been to Ohio in 15 years. My family moved when I was 12. I see. And you've had no contact with the property since then. My sister died there when we were 14. There was a fire. My parents said they sold it after. I stopped. Wait, who owns it now? Who's living there? According to our records, you are. Katherine Reeves. The mortgage application included all your information, Social Security, birth certificate, even your fingerprints. My fingerprints? How did someone get my fingerprints? That's what we need to investigate. Ms. Reeves, have you checked your credit report recently? I hadn't. Why would I? I paid my bills on time, had 1 credit card, 1 car loan, 1 mortgage. Simple, organized, safe. By the time I got home, my hands were shaking so badly I could barely log into the credit monitoring site. What I found made me sink to the kitchen floor. 3 credit cards I'd never opened. A car loan for a BMW. Store accounts at places I'd never shopped. And a mortgage for 447 Maple Street, Cleveland, Ohio. All opened within the last 2 years. All current except the mortgage. All destroying my previously pristine credit. I called my parents, something I did rarely. We'd grown distant after Emma's death, or what I'd thought was her death. Katie, Mom sounded surprised. Is everything okay? Someone stole my identity and bought our old house. Silence. Long enough that I checked to see if the call had dropped. Mom, that's impossible. It's not impossible. It happened. I need to know who has access to that house. Is there any chance Emma had documentation with my information when she... Katherine. Dad's voice. When had he gotten on the line? Let this go. Let it go? Someone has stolen my identity, ruined my credit, and is living in our old house. Just pay the mortgage. We'll help. How much do you need? Pay the mortgage? Dad, I don't own that house. Someone is committing fraud. Please, Katie. Just leave it alone. They hung up. I stared at my phone, my parents' reaction confirming what some part of me had already begun to suspect. By evening, I was in my car, driving toward Ohio, toward answers that 15 years of lies had hidden. The 12-hour drive gave me too much time to think. Emma and I had been identical, so identical that even our parents mixed us up sometimes. We'd switched places countless times as kids, fooling teachers, friends, even our grandmother. The only difference was a small scar on my shoulder from falling off my bike. Emma had been unmarked, perfect, until the fire that had supposedly claimed her life. I'd never seen her body. The funeral had been closed casket. Mom had sobbed that the fire had been too intense, that it was better to remember Emma as she'd been. I'd been 14, traumatized, guilty that I'd fought with her the week before she died. I'd never questioned it. Now parked outside 447, Maple Street at dawn, I questioned everything. The house looked exactly as I remembered, down to the blue shutters and the crack in the 3rd porch step. But the garden was immaculate. Emma had always loved gardening. The windows glowed with warm light. Someone was home. I walked to the door on legs that felt disconnected from my body. Raised my hand to knock. Hesitated. The door opened before I could decide. I wondered when you'd come, Emma said. 15 years older, but unmistakably my twin. Same green eyes, same sharp cheekbones, same slight tilt to her head when she was thinking. Alive. Whole. Standing in the doorway of our childhood home wearing my name like a stolen coat. You're supposed to be dead. I was supposed to be a lot of things. She stepped aside. Come in, Katie. We have a lot to discuss. The inside was a shrine to our childhood, but refined. Our old furniture reupholstered, family photos professionally framed, Mom's china displayed in a cabinet we could never afford as kids. It was our life upgraded, perfected. How? Was all I managed. Emma poured coffee with steady hands. My favorite brand. Of course she'd know. The fire was real. I did go back for the music box, Grandma's music box. But Mrs. Chin next door saw the smoke, called 911. I got out with some burns, nothing major. When the paramedics asked my name, she shrugged. I said Katherine. Why? Because I was 14 and scared and angry. You all left me behind. We didn't leave you. You were in the car. You must have snuck out while we were loading. I hid. I didn't want to leave. This was our home, Katie. Dad's debts weren't our fault. Why should we have to run? So you burned down the house? That was an accident. Knocked over a candle, trying to get the music box from the attic. She touched her left arm absently. The burns were real. The pain was real. And when I woke up in the hospital with Mom crying over me, calling me Katie, you let them think I was dead? I let them think Emma was dead. The troubled twin. The difficult one. The one who fought about leaving. Her voice turned bitter. You were always the good one. Straight A's, never complained, never caused problems. I figured you'd have a better chance at a happy life as Katie. That wasn't your choice to make. Wasn't it? She leaned forward. Tell me, Katie, how many times did Mom compare us? How many times did she wish I could be more like you? Well, I gave her what she wanted. One perfect daughter instead of one perfect and one problem. So you've been living as me for 15 years? No. I disappeared for a while. Foster care, different name. Learned some things. Computers, mostly. How to create identities, manipulate records. When I turned 18, I became Emma Smith, got a job, built a life. But I always knew where you were. Always watched. The identity theft. Started 2 years ago. I wanted to come home, Katie. To our real home. But I couldn't buy it as Emma. She's dead, remember? So I borrowed your identity. Just for the mortgage application. And the credit cards? The BMW? Emma shrugged. I figured you owed me 15 years of birthday and Christmas presents. You ruined my credit. Your credit will recover. My life won't. She stood, pacing to the window. Do you know what it's like to be dead? To watch your family mourn you and move on? To see your twin sister living the life that should have been shared. I mourned you. I've carried guilt for 15 years because we fought before you died. What did we fight about? Emma asked quietly. I tried to remember. It had seemed so important at the time, but now? I don't know. Something stupid. You wanted to take my music box. Said I didn't appreciate it like you would. That I didn't deserve Grandma's things because I hadn't been close to her like you were. The memory surfaced like a slap. I had said that. Cruel words from a 12-year-old who thought her sister got away with everything. I'm sorry. 15 years too late. Emma turned back. But here's the thing, Katie. I'm not sorry. I've built a good life. I have a job I love, friends who know me as Emma, a home filled with our history. The only thing I borrowed was your name for this house. And my social security number. My credit. My identity. Details. She waved dismissively. What are you going to do? Report me? Have me arrested? I'm legally dead. Emma Reeves died in a fire 15 years ago. There's a death certificate and everything. This is insane. This is survival. She pulled out a folder, thick with documents. Here's the deed transfer. Sign it, and the house is officially mine. I'll stop using your information, close the credit accounts, repair your score. You go back to your life, and I keep mine. And if I don't, then I suppose we find out what happens when someone who's been dead for 15 years suddenly isn't. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Mom and Dad have been collecting my life insurance for quite a while. That would be awkward to explain. You're blackmailing me? I'm offering a solution. You get your identity back, clean and clear. I get to keep the life I've built. Everyone wins. Except for the 15 years of lies. Would the truth have been better? Should I have shown up at your college graduation? Your wedding? Oh, wait. She picked up a photo from the mantel. Me in my wedding dress, smiling beside David. You're divorced now. I know. I've been watching. You've been stalking me. I've been loving you from a distance. There's a difference. She set the photo down gently. Sign the papers, Katie. Go home. Live your life. Let me live mine. I stared at the documents. Legal transfer of a house I'd never bought to a person who didn't exist. This is fraud. This is fiction becoming fact. Sign it. My phone rang. Mom. Don't, Emma warned. I answered anyway. She's alive, isn't she? Mom's sob was answer enough. You've known for 15 years that Emma was alive, and you let me believe she was dead? We thought it was best. Best for who? For everyone. Emma was so angry, so troubled. When she chose to stay dead, to leave us alone, we thought it would be easier. Cleaner. You thrived without her shadow. Her shadow? She was my twin sister, not my burden. You don't understand what it was like, Katie. The fights, the drama, the constant competition between you two. When she died, when we thought she died, you bloomed. We couldn't take that away. I hung up and threw the phone across Emma's perfect living room. It shattered against the wall, pieces scattering like the lies my life had been built on. Feel better? Emma asked. No. Sign the papers. I picked up the pen, hand hovering over the signature line. What happens after this? We just pretend we never saw each other. We're good at pretending. 15 years of practice. I don't want to pretend anymore. Emma's composure cracked slightly. What do you want, Katie? You want your sister back? The one who fought with you constantly? Who competed for everything? Who made your life hell half the time? Yes, I said simply. I want my sister back. Whatever that looks like. She stared at me, and for a moment, I saw the 14-year-old girl who'd hidden in a house rather than leave. Scared, angry, alone. I can't be Emma Reeves. She's dead. Then be Emma Smith. Be Emma anyone. Just be my sister again. And the house. I signed the papers. Keep it. But no more stealing my identity. No more watching from the shadows. You want to be in my life? Be in it. Messy and complicated and real. Emma took the signed documents with shaking hands. You sure about this? No. But I'm tired of being sure. Sure is what got us here. Our parents being sure it was better to lie, you being sure I was better off without you, me being sure my life was normal. Screw sure. What do we tell people? The truth. Or a version of it. Long-lost sister, family drama, reunification. People love that stuff. And Mom and Dad? They made their choice. Now they get to live with the consequences. I looked around the room, at our childhood preserved in amber. Show me what you've done with the place. And then, maybe we can figure out what comes next. Emma smiled, a real smile this time, the one I remembered from when we were kids planning midnight adventures. Want to see your old room? I kept it exactly the same. Well, except for the bathroom I added. And the walk-in closet. And the... Emma. Yeah. I'm glad you're not dead. She hugged me then, fierce and sudden, and I smelled the same shampoo she'd used at 12. Some things, apparently, even death couldn't change. We spent the day in that house, sharing 15 years of separate lives. She showed me the garden where she'd planted a tree for each year I thought she was dead. I told her about the therapy, the guilt, the ways her death had shaped me. By evening, we'd moved from past to present to tentatively planning a future where twins could exist in the same life again. We should probably call Mom and Dad, Emma said eventually. Probably. Neither of us moved. Tomorrow, she suggested. Tomorrow. That night, I slept in my childhood bed in a house I'd never bought, owned by a sister who'd been dead for 15 years, in a life that had just become infinitely more complicated. And for the first time in 15 years, I felt complete. The aftermath was messier than our reunion. Mom and Dad had to face the daughter they'd buried and the daughter they'd lied to. The life insurance company had questions. The authorities had concerns. Emma's friends had to adjust to her being Emma Reeves instead of Emma Smith. But we figured it out. Day by day, truth by truth, we rebuilt what 15 years of lies had torn apart. Emma kept the house on Maple Street. I visit monthly, sometimes more. We're learning to be sisters again. Not the children who competed for everything, but adults who chose each other despite everything. My credit recovered. Emma's death certificate stands. Legally, Emma Reeves did die in that fire. Emily Smith, however, is very much alive, my twin sister who took a 15-year detour through death to find her way back to family. Sometimes I catch her using my mannerisms, little echoes of when she was trying to be me. Sometimes she calls me by her name, forgetting which twin she's supposed to be. We're working on it. All of it. Because it turns out some things are worth more than a clean credit report or a simple life story. Some things, like a sister you thought was dead showing up in your childhood home wearing your identity, are worth the complicated, messy, impossible truth. Even if that truth comes with mortgage fraud and a really awkward Thanksgiving dinner. Especially then,